Imagine this. It's Sunday, or maybe Saturday. Honestly, the day doesn't matter. What matters is the noise. Millions of people across millions of living rooms, thousands of bars, and at least one guy wearing a jersey that costs more than his rent are simultaneously screaming at a glowing rectangle on the wall. They're crying. They're hugging strangers. They're pounding the table like they're negotiating a peace treaty. Some of them have painted their faces in colours that look suspiciously like ancient war paint. Their heart rates are syncing up like a cult ritual. Somewhere, a man is shouting, "We're going all the way," as if he personally trains the team between his shifts at Best Buy. And then, there's you. You're sitting there watching 22 millionaires chase an inflated piece of leather across a patch of grass. And you feel nothing. Not a twitch, not a surge, not even a polite little, "Oh wow." No dopamine rush, no tribal rage, just mild confusion and the creeping sensation that you're witnessing a very expensive form of group hypnosis. The ball goes slightly left instead of right, and your friend reacts like a meteor just hit the earth. He's hyperventilating, he's holding his head, he's yelling at the referee like the man personally ruined his childhood. You look at him, and for a split second you wonder, am I broken? Or are they? Because here's the thing, sports fans don't watch the game, they merge with it. Their entire nervous system plugs into the outcome like a life support machine. But you're not plugged in, you're just observing, like an anthropologist, like an alien. And if you've ever felt like that, if you've ever sat at a Super Bowl party or during the World Cup, or at any moment where the entire culture seems to turn into one loud emotional organism, and you're standing outside the glass like, wait, what am I missing? This video is for you. Because today we're not talking about touchdowns or offside rules, we're talking about the brain. Why do billions of people care so much about sports? And why don't you? Spoiler, you're not empty, you're not cold, you're not too smart for sports, you're just loyal to a different tribe. To understand why you don't care, we first have to understand why they care so much. And for that, we have to go back, way back. Before the NFL, before the Premier League, before stadiums, streaming, and overpriced nachos. We have to talk about tribes. Human beings are not just intelligent animals. We are social primates. And for most of our history, survival didn't depend on how smart you were. It depended on whether you belonged. For roughly 99% of human existence, being alone wasn't lonely. It was a death sentence. No tribe meant no protection. No tribe meant no food. No tribe meant you become a snack for something with bigger teeth and less anxiety. So evolution installed a powerful program inside your skull. Find your people. Protect your people. Fear the outsiders. That is the tribal software. And it still runs, quietly, constantly, in the background. Now here's the problem. Modern life doesn't give us many chances to satisfy it. Most of us aren't defending our village from a neighbouring clan. We're defending our inbox. We're fighting traffic. Our enemies are PDFs and low battery warnings. So the brain starts looking for a substitute, a safe, socially acceptable battlefield. And that is where sports comes in. Professional sports is basically ritualized warfare, conflict without the bloodshed. A symbolic battle where nobody dies but everybody feels like something sacred is on the line. Look at the structure. Uniforms become armor. Chants become war cries. Stadiums become temples or arenas. Rivals become enemies. Victory becomes proof that we matter. That's why fans say, "We won," and they mean it. Because in their nervous system, my team isn't entertainment, it's identity. But here's the deeper layer most people miss. There are actually 3 levels of tribe happening at once. Level 1, the local tribe. This is my city, my neighborhood, my flag. Level 2, the family tribe. I watch this with my dad. This is what my brother and I did every Sunday. Sports becomes love, disguised as competition. Level 3, the identity tribe. This is who I am. Not, I like this team, but I am this team. So when their team wins, it's not just a scoreboard, it's belonging, it's status, it's safety. And that's why to a sports fan, it feels like life and death, even when it's just a game. Now, if you've ever looked at sports fans and thought, why are they acting like this is a hostage situation? Here's the answer. They're not just watching a game, they're riding a chemical roller coaster. Because fandom isn't a hobby, it's a neurochemical event. First, dopamine. This isn't the pleasure chemical like people think. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It's the brain saying, something important might happen. Stay locked in. And sports is basically a dopamine casino. What if they score? What if they choke? What if this is the legendary comeback? Every snap, every pass, every near miss is a little spin of the wheel. Second, oxytocin, the bonding chemical, the glue. When thousands of people cheer in sync, same chants, same emotions, same collective heartbeat, your brain treats it like tribal unity. It's why strangers hug each other after a touchdown like long-lost brothers. You're not bonding over strategy, you're bonding over belonging. Third, testosterone, not just aggression, dominance. The ancient "my tribe is strong" signal. When the team wins, the nervous system interprets it as, we are safe, we are powerful, we matter. When the team loses, the brain interprets it as humiliation, like the tribe just got defeated in front of everyone. And this is why fans don't simply feel happy or sad. They feel euphoric or devastated, because the body isn't reacting to a sport. It's reacting to a primal story. Victory, loss, pride, shame, status, survival. So when you see someone screaming at the TV like their soul is being judged, they're not being dramatic. Their brain is literally running ancient code and dumping chemicals into their bloodstream to match it. Here's the part that most people get wrong. They think sports fans get dopamine because their team wins. But that's not the full story. Your brain doesn't release dopamine only for rewards. It releases dopamine when reality surprises you. Psychologists call this dopamine prediction error, which sounds like something that should come with a software update. But it's actually one of the most powerful engines of human obsession. A prediction error happens when your brain expects one thing, and then something else happens. You expect a normal play, suddenly it's a 70-yard touchdown. You expect a safe lead, then the team collapses in the final minute. You expect a guaranteed goal, then the ball hits the post and the whole stadium screams like it witnessed a tragedy. That shock, that swing, is what lights up the nervous system. That's why sports is addictive. It's uncertainty packaged into a ritual, served every Sunday with wings. Now here's the crucial detail. For prediction error to work, you have to care about the prediction. You have to be emotionally invested. You have to have skin in the game, even if it's imaginary skin. Your brain has to place a bet. Because dopamine isn't interested in what happens on the field. It's interested in what happens to you. And as a non-fan, you don't place the bet. When the crowd gasps, your brain doesn't go, oh no, we might lose. It goes, oh, the ball moved. You're watching the same events, but your nervous system refuses to gamble chemicals on an outcome that has no meaning to your identity. So you stay flat. Not because you're emotionless, not because you're too rational, but because your brain is efficient. It's basically saying, I'm not spending dopamine on a game I'm not invested in. That would be terrible budgeting. And once you understand that, something clicks. Sports isn't exciting because it's sports. It's exciting because the brain is hooked on uncertainty plus belonging plus stakes. Take away the stakes and the magic evaporates. That's why, to you, it's just 22 millionaires running in circles. And to them, it's destiny. Now let's talk about why sports fans don't just watch the game. They feel it. They flinch when someone gets tackled. They groan like they personally missed the shot. They throw their hands in the air like the laws of physics betrayed them. This is where mirror neurons come in. Mirror neurons are specialized brain cells that fire when you perform an action, and when you watch someone else perform that same action. It's the mechanism behind empathy and emotional simulation. But here's the mistake people make. It's not that non-fans don't have mirror neurons. You do, obviously. You cry in movies. You get goosebumps in certain scenes. You can feel a character's heart break, even though they're fictional. So why doesn't it happen with sports? Because mirror neurons don't fire deeply without 3 psychological conditions. Condition number 1, narrative. Your brain needs a story, a meaning. Hey, this matters because if the game feels like random movement, there's nothing to attach to. Condition number 2, stakes. There must be something on the line. Status, pride, belonging, legacy. Not logically, emotionally. Condition number 3, identity. You have to know who you are in the story. Which side is us? Which side is them? Where do you belong? When all 3 are present, your nervous system locks in. The athlete's pain becomes your pain. The victory becomes your victory. But as a non-fan, one of those conditions is usually missing, sometimes all 3. So your brain stays in observation mode. You understand the physics, but you don't enter the myth. And without the myth, the game never becomes a lived experience. It becomes exactly what it looks like. People in shirts, running for points. Here's a truth that will instantly make sports fandom make sense. Most people don't become fans because they studied the game. They become fans because they imprinted on it. And imprinting is not logical. It's emotional glue formed early, when your brain is still building its definition of home. Think about the classic American scene. A kid on a couch, feet not even touching the floor. A parent, usually dad, sometimes mum, sitting nearby with a plate of food. The TV is loud. The room smells like pizza, popcorn, wings, comfort. And then something happens on the screen. The crowd explodes. The parent jumps up. There's shouting, laughing, high-fiving. This sudden burst of life, like the room just became a festival. And the kid learns something very deep, very fast. This is belonging. This is connection. This is love, in a language I can understand. From that moment on, the team isn't just a team. It becomes a memory container. Sports becomes the background music of family, of weekends, of safety, of being included. So when that person grows up, they're not defending a franchise. They're defending their childhood. They're protecting the feeling of being part of something bigger than themselves. And that's why fans say things like, "I've loved this team since I was 5. They're not bragging. They're telling you the age when the imprints happened. Now here's the reason this matters for you. If you didn't grow up with that ritual, if no one passed it down to you as a bonding language, then sports never got installed as an emotional shortcut. It stayed what it is on paper, a game, not a home. Not. Now, if you're a non-fan, you might think you're just one type of person. I don't like sports, but that's like saying, I don't like music. Okay, which music? Why? Because here's the reality. There are different species of non-fans. And once you know which one you are, the whole why don't I care question gets a lot clearer. Type pattern 1. The indifferent. You don't hate sports, you don't resent fans, it just doesn't spark anything. You could watch a game, and your emotional response would be identical to watching someone vacuum, neutral, flat, peaceful. Type number 2, the overstimulated. This isn't about the sport, it's about the environment, the yelling, the crowds, the constant noise, the chaos. Your nervous system isn't bored, it's overwhelmed. You don't dislike sports, you dislike being trapped in a human blender. Type number 3, the traumatized. This one is deep. Maybe you were forced to play. Maybe you were mocked for not being into it. Maybe you got labelled as weak, soft, or not a real guy. So now sports doesn't feel like fun. It feels like a place you were judged. Type number 4, the contrarian. You might not even hate the game. You hate the expectation, the pressure, the social ritual, the mandatory enthusiasm, the way people look at you like you committed a crime when you say, actually, I didn't watch it. So you reject it before it can reject you. Same outcome, non-fan, but completely different wiring, different history, different reason. And that matters, because you're not one thing, you're a story. Here's why being a non-fan can feel strangely isolating, even if you're perfectly happy on your own. Sports isn't just entertainment, it's a social passport. In American culture, sports is the default language of belonging. It's the safest topic on earth. You can walk into an office, a barbershop, a family BBQ, and say, "Did you see the game?" And instantly, you're inside the circle. Because it's not really a question, it's a ritual. It's code for, "Are you one of us?" And when you can't speak that language, you're not just out of the loop, you're outside the tribe. That's why Monday morning small talk can feel like punishment. Everyone is emotionally reliving the highlights, arguing about referees, repeating memes, and you're standing there like a tourist without the dictionary. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Knowing sports can signal status. In some environments, it reads as masculinity, confidence, social fluency, normal guy energy, which means not knowing it can get interpreted, unfairly, as being awkward, elitist, or weird. So the loneliness isn't about missing the game, it's about missing the bridge. Because sports isn't just about points, it's about permission to belong. And now we arrive at the part that might offend you, because if you're a non-sports fan, there's a good chance you've secretly told yourself this: "I just don't get obsessed like that." You look at the screaming stadium people and think, "Wow, primitive." Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever argued passionately about which Spider-Man is the best? Have you ever stayed up until 3 a.m. watching a Twitch stream like it was a sacred ceremony? Have you ever felt genuine anger because a Netflix adaptation ruined the lore of your favourite book? Have you ever typed the sentence, "Actually, the canon says"? Congratulations. You're not different from a sports fan. You just go to a different stadium. Because the psychology is identical. Fandom is fandom. Tribalism is tribalism. Whether it's the Lakers, BTS, PlayStation versus Xbox, Marvel versus DC, or a political ideology, you're still doing the same ancient thing. Picking a tribe, defending it, belonging to it. And the best part, you might not even know these are tribes because they don't come with jerseys, but your brain treats them the same. You form parasocial bonds with players, streamers, idols. You learn insider language, memes, symbols, sacred history. You feel pride when your side wins and embarrassment when they lose. So no, you're not passionless. Your passion just isn't monetized by ESPN. It's monetized by the internet. So what do you do with all this? Especially when you're stuck at a Super Bowl party, surrounded by screaming maniacs. Simple. You don't need to fake being a fan. You just need a bridge. Try these 3 lines. 1. Was it a heartbreaker or a domination? 2. What was the one play everyone's losing their mind over? 3. Why is this rivalry such a big deal? You're not discussing sports. You're discussing emotion, identity, story. That's universal. And if you're a non-fan, there's freedom in it. You get Sundays off, lower blood pressure, a quieter brain. Just don't confuse indifference with superiority. We're all monkeys looking for a tribe. Some scream in stadiums, some scream in comment sections. If this hit you, subscribe for more psychology-driven video essays and comment below. Are you a non-fan, or do you have your own different stadium? Thank you for watching.